Let's talk about values. And these are mostly work values, I guess. But I don't know, at least for me, it's a bit hard to separate exactly what are like work values and what are life values. To me, they are kind of similar. And I also want to preface this by saying that I don't impose my values on other people. I really have no claim on others. I don't think people should do this or do that or live this way or live that way. But I do have my own set of values that I apply to my own life, and this will be very much focused on work. But I also bleed, to use a red metaphor, they bleed into other aspects of life as well. Um, let's do a quick rundown. So, self discipline, that is a value that I think is important. And I think most people understand what I'm talking about when I say self discipline. And because it's just being in control of one's actions and being able to direct what you do. And the next one is self efficacy. And I took this term from some positive psychology thing. Um, it is different from self discipline. Self efficacy is different from self discipline in that it's about believing in the efficacy of one's actions, right? You think you can take effective actions, you can succeed in your actions can have positive effects, and basically that you can do well at what you attempt. So maybe you might not consider that a value. We could also call these beliefs, and we could say they're self beliefs or they're beliefs about reality. I don't, I'm not too concerned with the philosophical implications. I care more about the practical reality of it. Um, Next up is resilience. And resilience to me is the ability to bounce back and learn from whatever happens, really. And so this could be something that happens to you or something that like you learn from a past experience or past mistake, and you don't dwell on it, you just move on. course, just move on seems a bit harsh. So I don't mean it in that way, but there is something to the value of resilience. And sorry about the dog. Anyway, resilience, like in the sense of being able to learn and not being wrecked by whatever happens. I think that's an important value to cultivate. For example, this this watercolor is turning out pretty horrid, but that's okay because I just wanted to try the reds a little bit and see what happened. And it makes me feel a bit frustrated that it turned out pretty bad, but I'll be resilient about it and just learn from the experience and move on to the next watercolor and see what I can do differently in that one, right? Next up is purpose. And this is an interesting one. I think this one I took mostly from some historical figures. And for example, Napoleon. I don't know how much we should base our lives on Napoleon, right? Just, I think ultimately um, he got a lot of people killed. Well, that's a big problem. But he certainly had a sense of purpose, and that motivated him very strongly towards his goals. So, whether we agree that um, what he did was good, or which things that he did were good and which were not, he was certainly highly motivated. And I think that one of the big reasons, one of the big contributing factors to his motivation was his sense of purpose. He would talk about like destiny, then destiny had a place for him. There was a greater purpose to his life and so on. And I think that having that sense can really enhance your motivation. And if you feel purposeless, if you feel that, there's no point to your life, I think that can lead to depression and other issues. And I've experienced some of that myself, so I kind of choose to believe that my life has some purpose or some greater purpose even. I try not to be too um, grandiose about it, because I think that can also lead to its own issues like narcissism and feeling superior to other people, and I don't want that. So I try not to be too grandiose about the meaning and purpose behind my life, but I do cultivate some of that at least. The next one is fearless exploration, and that is, for example, just jumping into action and seeing what happens. um, like I'm doing with this drawing. You wanna, sometimes that can go badly, of course, but I think it's a much better attitude than not trying. Because some people just go their whole lives thinking, oh, if I had tried doing that. So if you want to you want to err on the side of fearless exploration rather than fearful doing nothing. That's just my take. Next is up is awe. That's just a sense of wonder when you look at things, when you look at the universe, feeling that there's something amazing going on, something really, really cool about existence, about life. Um, I think that's a good thing to have, an important thing to have if you want, especially if you want to be creative and you want to create awesome things. Without a sense of awe, it's hard to make art, in my opinion. Oh, I mean, you can make something like art, you can create things, like get things done, but I think that one of the big ingredients for being artistic is some sense of awe. Next up is truth seeking. And this is a hard one. I don't. This is the a one that I'm really under development, to be honest, because I see a lot of problems with this idea that, um, oh, I have the truth, I know the truth, and other people don't. I think that generates a lot of problems for society and problems for individuals themselves. Like you think you're right, you think you have the truth, that can lead to a lot of interpersonal conflict. Um, but I do believe in the importance of trying to get to the truth of things, even though it's really hard. In my opinion, truth is very rare. It's in terms of verbalizing it. Luckily, in terms of it existing and it being, we all share we all share a physical universe. So whatever is the truth of things, however things are, they are like that already. So we don't have to worry about truth in that sense. Whatever is true is already true anyway. Of course, verbalizing it, putting it into some format that can be shared, that is much harder. But anyway, that's one value. And the last one is magnanimity. The last one that I want to talk about here, because I could talk about others, but I focused on those for this video. Magnanimity is the best word that I could find for something that I think is important, which is allowing other people to make their choices and letting the universe be as it is. Because you can do the opposite, which I think is not good for you, but you can. That's part of my magnanimity, that I allow people to do whatever they want, but I don't personally find it's a good idea to have the opposite, which is um, trying to control everything and being pissed off that things are not different. And I think it's okay to want things to be different, but you have to be magnanimous about it and allow them to not be exactly as you want them to be until they become how you want them to be. If that's how if that's how things indeed go, and if things don't turn out that way, then that's okay as well. That's magnanimity. Okay, it's been long enough. Uh, the watercolor turned out something like this. It's a weird one. So try again next time and see how that goes. All right. Thank you.